The NFL landscape is set to change. The way that everything has landed over the past few years really has set up quite a bit this offseason.
I know Pete Carroll doesn't like hearing his age mentioned, but the man's a 70-year-old man. What is he going to start from scratch right now? In the toughest division in football, where the defending Super Bowl champs reside.
The 2022 NFL offseason is upon us, and if the fans get their way, the early stages of the offseason will not be lacking in blockbuster, history-altering trades. Here are blockbuster trades that would drastically shake up the 2022 NFL offseason. The Seahawks and Deshaun Watson saga. Will this be the offseason where Deshaun Watson finally finds a new home?
What does Seattle do at quarterback? Do you roll the dice on Deshaun despite the legal troubles?
I think if Deshaun is available, you go after him.
Many expected the big move to come during the 2021 offseason, after the Houston Texans quarterback demanded a trade early on. But just as the Texans were shopping the young phenom to a number of teams, the allegations of sexual assault from several of his massage therapists began to turn up. Suddenly, the Texans were dealing with damaged goods, and their leverage in trade talks diminished. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to regain much of that leverage they'd lost, as Watson's legal issues are still hanging in the balance. But after going a whole year of paying Watson to sit out, you'd have to think they're ready to accept whatever they can get for him and move on.
There will be interest in Deshaun Watson, just as there's been interest in all these other quarterbacks this past week as the quarterback carousel has begun to spin.
They have a ton of young talent, but they're still a star quarterback away from competing for Super Bowls. With Watson possibly available at a discounted price, they'd be wise to go for broke and give Houston all the draft picks they desire for Deshaun. The Seahawks continue purge. Send DK Metcalf to Buffalo. Seattle has already started their rebuild by shipping Russell Wilson to Denver for a boatload of picks and players. But why stop there? There's been rumors of both DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett possibly being on the block. And one team whose name has been mentioned as a possible suitor is the Buffalo Bills. With Emmanuel Sanders' future up in the air and Cole Beasley granted permission to seek a trade, the Bills will need to replenish their receiving core. Gabriel Davis flashed in the postseason, but is he really ready to take on number 2 receiver duties on a legit title contender? They traded their first rounder for Diggs 2 off-seasons ago. May as well do the same this year and add Metcalf to their high-powered offense. Cap-strapped Cowboys send Amari Cooper to Ravens. Amari Cooper has been a wonderful addition for the Dallas Cowboys since arriving in 2018. But salary cap constraints will make it almost impossible for Dallas to bring back all their core defensive players for 2022. Between Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott, and free agents Connor Williams, Dalton Schultz, and Michael Gallup, Dallas stands to lose at least 2 impactful starters. Given the rise of CeeDee Lamb, it makes sense for Dallas to get out of Cooper's hefty 5-year, $100 million pact. And several teams should be lining up for the 4-time Pro Bowler. The Baltimore Ravens have lacked game-breaking wideouts for a while now. Marquise Brown sort of broke out last year, and Mark Andrews has made a case as the NFL's top tight end, but additional help is still needed.
And I need help for Hollywood Brown. I need help for Hollywood Brown. I need help for Lamar Jackson.
And the Ravens could get Cooper at a bargain level price. His exceptional route running and impact in the red zone would make Cooper a wonderful addition to a Baltimore offense that's been overly reliant on the run game.
Should the Ravens sign one Amari Cooper? Now, I wouldn't be mad at it at all. I wouldn't be, and he's from Florida too, so he could fit right in with the boys from the crib.
Dealing Cooper for an early to mid-round pick, maybe a 3rd and 6th rounder, makes plenty of sense here. Ravens make another blockbuster. Send Marcus Peters to Vikings. All-pro corner Marcus Peters has just 1 year left on his contract. With the Ravens needing to address the offensive line, wide receivers, and front 7, the best bet may be to move out Peters' pricey contract. If he goes on the trade block, Minnesota has to be all over this. Cornerback has been a major issue for the Vikings for a while now. The Jeff Gladney selection didn't pan out, nor did the 2021 free agent signing of Patrick Peterson. Peters is still in his prime and would add some much-needed speed and big playability to a defense that has regressed considerably over the years. In a hypothetical world, Minnesota would acquire Peters, then use their first rounder on one of the top cornerback prospects in the draft, and voila! A secondary that was once a weakness is suddenly a strength. Given his high salary, Peters could probably be had for a 4th or 5th round pick. That's the type of value that the Vikings need to take advantage of. Brandon Cooks flies to the Jets. The Houston Texans have wasted 2 excellent seasons from Brandon Cooks. He's coming off a second straight year of at least 80 catches, 1,000 yards, and 6 receiving touchdowns. Cooks is the team's only game-changing playmaker on offense. But with Houston in the early stages of a rebuild, the wise call is to acquire as many picks as possible by trading valuable veteran assets like Cooks. The New York Jets, loaded with draft capital thanks to the Jamal Adams trade, have a pressing need for a number 1 wideout. Zach Wilson had some fun moments with Corey Davis and Elijah Moore, but Cooks alone would change the whole dynamic of this offense. Cooks has just 1 year remaining on his deal. His value will not be any higher. The Texans should trade him now, and New York GM Joe Douglas should be motivated to acquire the speedy deep threat. Acquiring Cooks for, say, a 3rd and 4th round pick should be enough to get it done. Chiefs bring in Xavier Howard to fix secondary. All-Pro corner Xavier Howard requested a trade from Miami last season due to unhappiness with his contract status. He later walked back on those demands and returned to South Beach, tuning in a 3rd career Pro Bowl season. But Howard's expensive contract and inevitable request for a raise make him a strong trade candidate this offseason. With Byron Jones and Javon Holland in the fold, Miami's secondary would still be in good shape without Howard. And the Kansas City Chiefs have a desperate need for cornerback help. It's been a problem for a while. Their lack of quality covermen have cost them time and time again over the past few seasons. Kansas City was happy to give up valuable draft picks for Orlando Brown Jr. a year ago. GM Brett Veach shouldn't be afraid to sacrifice more selections for a proven stud like Howard, who would single-handedly change the shape of the Kansas City defense.
You're going to give me Xavier Howard? Yeah, I'd be into that.
Okay, just checking.
Are you kidding me? I don't know how you wouldn't be into that. That, to me, that would be a fantastic move for this defense. And I like their corners. I think they'll be fine. But adding Howard to this defense, if you can at least – if he can come in and he can be happy, I think that – I mean, you watched that one play against Tyreek Hill last year where it was just a phenomenal play. You think he has no chance at an interception. You think maybe he can knock the ball down, but to pick off the ball there, it's insane. So I really do think that would be a move that I would love to see.
The Chiefs would have the shutdown corner that they've lacked for a while. If they don't like their chances of landing a top defensive back in free agency, the Beach would be wise to make a trade for Howard. And if you're Miami, better to trade him now while his value is still high. Chiefs send Frank Clark to Foxborough. The Kansas City Chiefs are up against the cap. An easy way to clear room? Cut out or trade veteran defensive end Frank Clark, whose up-and-down play simply doesn't justify that hefty contract. Bill Belichick has never been shy to take a chance on aging veterans with high salaries. It sure worked out with Randy Moss and Corey Dillon after all. The New England Patriots have a massive need for pass-rushing help. And a physical, monstrous presence like Clark would fit beautifully in Belichick's defense. Pairing Clark with sack specialist Matthew Judon would make this stingy defense that much better. And New England should be able to land Clark for nothing more than a late-round selection. Steelers win Jimmy Garoppolo's sweepstakes. When the Niners traded up to draft Trey Lance 3rd overall last year, it marked the beginning of the end of the Jimmy G era in San Fran. Garoppolo was solid, but not great throughout the 2021 season. Yes, the 49ers reached the NFC title game for the 2nd time in 3 years, but Garoppolo wasn't the key reason why. He still committed costly mistakes throughout the season, including the game-sealing pick in the NFC Championship loss to the Los Angeles Rams. Point is, Jimmy G's a gunner, and Lance is the guy in San Fran. Now, say what you want about Garoppolo, but a 33-14 career record with a Super Bowl appearance and 2 trips to the conference title game is nothing to scoff at, and the Pittsburgh Steelers should take note.
To me, Pittsburgh is the natural. Here's why. I think they want to go back to being the blue-collar run-first team that they were before Ben Roethlisberger got there. They drafted a running back in the 1st round last year, and he's the kind of guy who you could actually give 25 carries a game. They have the defense. They could tell themselves, we'll send a 3rd-round pick to the Niners for Jimmy Garoppolo, and we'll have him for 2 years, and we'll draft a quarterback, but at least we'll have this guy, and we can say we can win, because of our defense and run game, we can win 10, 11 games with him. Look, to me, Pittsburgh is the most likely, and that's why they're the favorite in Vegas.
Somehow, this team made the postseason in 2021 with a largely ineffective Ben Roethlisberger. Mike Tomlin has been able to win with mediocre backups like Charlie Batch and Mason Rudolph in the past. Surely, he could do something with an above-average guy like Jimmy G. Garoppolo would be an upgrade over the 2021 version of Roethlisberger without a doubt. he had success playing on a team with a strong run game and a top defense in San Fran. Who's to say he can't repeat that success on a Steelers team that will offer him the same luxuries?
Who do you want to be the next quarterback in Pittsburgh?
Deshaun Watson's always in there. Aaron Rodgers, I obviously I like. Even guys like, if we get, Jimmy G, I like him too.
But what other blockbuster trades would shake up the 2022 NFL offseason? Join us in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.